in the tournament. So set me straight on that, on the call that we're talking about. Should it have been, in your mind, no call?
Well, here's the problem. What I was trying to present when we were talking about the officiating is if you watch the entire tournament, they're rewarding offense for jumping into defense when they have their hands up straight. So if you're defense, you're better off kind of selling a flop. But the new rule, as Cuonzo Martin asked about or talked about, is if you're guarding the basketball, you're what's known as the primary defender. If you're the primary defender, you have the right to actually move laterally, and it's still an offensive foul. So by rule, that would probably be a charge. I mean, would I call it? I don't know, probably not. But I also wouldn't have called so many of these other things called a charge.
So you would have made no call?
No, but I wouldn't have called a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you that the refs have been over officious. And based upon how the letter of the law is, I thought David Call was probably an 80-20. I think that's probably the right call.
You know, I'm looking at it, looking at the play as the referee's right on the baseline. I thought Jordan Morgan did an excellent job. He knew the first step. He was going right. But I also go back to Caris LeVert that helped him out. I thought he took him, maybe didn't take it square, but in college you don't have to take it square. I thought Jordan Morgan got there. It would have been tough to call the block. So, I went to referees. I thought it was a charge.
When Cuonzo Martin refers to the new rule does not apply to this situation. He was not going into an upward motion. He went straight into the defender. And one thing that John Adams and his officials and referee coordinators have talked to their officials about letting the play finish, maybe having a little bit more patience before you make that call. It was bad luck, in a sense, for the referee in this situation that the ball was tipped away. If he had waited a fraction of a second longer, the play would have continued. Michigan had the ball. He would have had to make the call. I did not think it was a charge, but we have the benefit of slow motion replay. You can't say that enough. This is the hardest call for an official to make. We get to sit here when they have to make it in real time on the fly, and whether there's 10 seconds left in the game or 10 minutes left in the game, that's not supposed to matter. It's either right or it's wrong, regardless of when it happens. I think he called it a hair too quick, but under the circumstances, it's the hardest call that an official has to make.
Well, I think also, Seth,
that fair?
I think, Seth, he couldn't see the ball being jarred from his ankle. So I think, that's why he called it a charge, because you couldn't see. You probably thought that he still had the basketball in his hand. And if you're looking at the referee from this angle, he doesn't know if Caris LeVert knocked it out of his hands or not until right there, and he's blowing his whistle.
Refs get criticized, that was a late whistle. That's actually good officiating when it's a late whistle, because it gives them a chance to see the completion of the play. It's a really hard call to make.
We agree it's a hard call to make. This is part of the new rule. That you're talking about more the secondary defender. That's when you come over to help, whether or not you need to be planted before the guy plants. I still think that there's two other takeaways from it. One, pass the ball. Your coach runs an ISO for you in the low post, down a point. You see a double team, stop, take a look, and pass the ball. And then maybe you can repost or you get another shot.
I don't think Doug with that much time left.
9 seconds to go.
But you're a kid. You know what I mean? I think he thought the play was isolation. I thought Caris LeVert, because they had a shooter up there, played extremely well. And for him, he's a center basically putting his head down. I don't think he had the ability to throw it out and repost. He was thinking that way. He was going for a win.
Before we go to break,
yep.
One word answer, and one word answer alone.